Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, a picturesque city on the Canadian prairies. But the city's first responders are some of the busiest in the country. The men and women of Saskatoon's MD ambulance respond to 30,000 emergency calls per year. These are the stories of the paramedics who race through the streets to answer the call.
You're responding to a car versus pedestrian NBC. 27-year-old male. Patient is conscious but not alert.
En route, you definitely go over some different scenarios of what could happen, especially when there's this rate of speed.
It says on here, serious bleeding from head.
So possibly a head injury. Whether he was conscious or not, we're not sure. We've got to wonder if alcohol is a factor.
Well, yeah, and you got a couple bars there as well.
Yeah, a couple pubs in this area. In a call like this, our on-scene time is what makes the big difference, getting on scene and off scene. So as we pull up, we see the city police, city fire already on scene.
Yeah, they got her.
She's supine on the grass.
I'll just grab the stretcher. You want to do assessment?
Yeah, I will.
Not too bad.
He was over at the pub over there, and they just passed out, and Booth had to kick him out. He made his way over here.
Okay.
Crossing the road, and this car that was just coming in this turn lane.
Is this the vehicle that hit him there?
Do we know how fast that car was going when they were?
Not at all. We had to talk to them.
Sure, I'll just take a quick listen to it as long as you're Take a nice deep breath for me, bud. Upon making patient contact, we do what's called a rapid trauma assessment.
Good, and out.
For any significant or life-threatening injuries, and our goal is to have this done in under 1 to 2 minutes.
Yeah, he went up. He didn't go on the window, but it looks like he came off.
When we get called for a person that's been hit by a car, we worry about a whole multitude of situations. How did they land on the car? Did they go up and over? Did they go down and under? Were they dragged? Did they go through the windshield? It's a huge puzzle that we have to piece together. So you witnessed this?
Yeah, I saw him, this guy, beeline out of the intersection at a green light.
So he was jaywalking then?
Yeah, we were easily going 60.
And he got hit. Travel like 10 to 15 feet in the air before landing.
Do you have any pain down your neck or your back? We want to try to minimize the movement of that particular bone if it does happen to be fractured, just to prevent further injury. Do you remember getting hit by a car? No. No? Did you black out? Yeah. Okay. You know what? We'll sit him up right now.
We're going to sit you up here, bud.
No, you're coming to the hospital with us, bud.
You just got to protect your neck, okay? Okay.
Shuffle this way.
You're going to turn around, you're going to feel a bed behind your legs, okay? Yeah,
this patient was very lucky to escape this incident with just the injuries that he had. The high rate of speed the car was traveling could have caused much more damage. 19 years old, loss of consciousness.
With the patient being intoxicated, not aware of what was going to happen, most likely reduced the amount of injuries he sustained. We're going to take him to the hospital now. He's really lucky that it wasn't worse.
You're responding for a 25-year-old male who's been stabbed to the forearm. All other details are unknown.
So we're going to an apartment that's known for some gang stuff.
I'm wondering if it's not these little ones up here.
Yeah, guaranteed, that's where it is.
We just kind of have to wait till the area is safe before we can go on scene.
It's important that city police arrive on some scenes first before we get there, just to ensure that we're safe in doing our job.
4, stab to the forearm, and just confirm code 8's on scene.
Code 8 is our code for Saskatoon City Police. It's very important that we secure the scene.
Both code 8 is on scene so far. It is now safe to proceed.
Yeah.
The problem with a stabbing is that you don't know the depth of the injury. You can see on the surface the length and width, but you don't know how deep it's gone.
Are we going right upstairs, or? Okay.
There could be an arterial bleed, and an arterial bleed is life-threatening, and a person can die within minutes. Do you want to come to the truck? Maybe we'll check you out. Have a seat on the bench there, bro. Bleeding lots?
It was.
Okay, just leave it like that for now. Was it spurting blood, or was it?
At first it was.
We see the police have actually already applied a tourniquet to stop the bleeding.
So what happened, bud?
Sometimes somebody will have an injury that they can see or feel, but not realize they've been stabbed somewhere else. We call that a distracting injury.
Is that it? You weren't stabbed anywhere else, eh?
Poke me on this side somewhere, maybe on my hand. Yeah.
They're so focused on the injury that they can see that they don't feel anything else.
Can you move your fingers?
I can, but my arm's going real numb. Like.
Yeah, because the tourniquet's on.
We put a tourniquet on above the wound and we use it to stop the blood flow.
I think we're going to try with the tourniquet off. I don't think it's arterial, and if we need to put the tourniquet back on, we can do that. We're going to keep it, though, just in case. For a city police officer to identify a major wound like that, to have a tourniquet on him and essentially treat the patient before we even arrive is fantastic.
Maybe I can have that thing back then. Do you want to toss me that tourniquet?
Sure. It has blood on it.
It was very quick thinking of the officer to apply that tourniquet. Not all police officers carry them.
What type of knife did she use? Like a little kitchen knife.
He was lucky. It could have been a lot worse. The knife is bigger. If it was sharper, it could have died right then and there.
I need a finger.
I was gonna die or something.
Yeah, the mean streets of Saskatoon.
I wanted to be a paramedic because I was always fascinated with emergency services.
It's a Bravo, isn't it?
Bravo. For me, meeting new people each day, each shift, and having them put their trust in you. Each call, might not be life or death, but it might be an emergency to that certain patient or that certain individual, and they've called you and put their trust in you to help them in their time of need.
Please state your call is a 13-year-old male patient who is conscious and not alert, complaining of high fever and headache.
When we get this call of a young boy with high fever, headache, jaw pain, we're worrying about serious infection. Hello? How are you? Could be better, hey? What's going on today?
He stepped on a nail a couple days ago, or like this piece of metal in his foot, and then just...
You go get that checked out?
Yeah, he did, and they gave him some medicine for it, but just today, he just like, all of a sudden he had this headache, and now he's having muscle spasm.
Mom says he stepped on a piece of metal or a nail?
Yeah, in the bathroom, a piece of metal on the floor is up.
Okay, how's your face feel? Okay. Everywhere?
Just my face.
Okay.
I have a bad headache.
Can you open your mouth for me? Does your jaw hurt at all?
Really?
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at your foot here too, okay? That cut near the heel is from that metal?
Yeah.
It looks infected. I think this is a bit of an infection that's going on. It's kind of gone like through his blood.
Okay, look at me. Go like that. Puff your cheeks out. Don't let me push them in. Perfect. Okay, so you said you've been puking a bit?
I was puking like 3 hours ago.
He is definitely sick, and any infection left untreated has the potential of worsening or becoming fatal.
Can you feel me touching your hands? Yeah? Does it feel the same on both sides?
No.
He needs to go to the hospital. He's not acting appropriately. He looks unwell from just anybody's standpoint.
Grab my hand.
I also vomited earlier. Yeah, you're really warm.
We're concerned this patient is becoming septic, which is when the infection spreads throughout the body. Let's stand up for just a quick minute, bud.
So we're gonna put this tarp underneath your bottom, okay? We're gonna carry you out of the house, okay?
You can sit back down.
How does it feel to stand? There you go. How have you been eating? Okay, no appetite?
We're going to take him to the hospital. They'll do tests, blood work, and if needed, he'll be treated with antibiotics.
An incident like this can be scary for a young patient and his family, especially if the infection starts to spread throughout the body. But being normally healthy, quite confident he'll have a full recovery.
Respond Delta, Avenue D South. Patient is in the elevator.
I think that's the same building.
Going for a man down, unconscious in the elevator.
We were just at this building for a stabbing. We go to that apartment building at least maybe 1 to 2 times a night. We arrive on scene and we find a male passed out in the elevator in our previous patient's blood.
Sir, you want to wake up? City police, are you okay?
Wake up!
You slipping out of the guy.
Who called us in?
I recognize this.
Someone from the city.
Hi.
You've been drinking.
Some paramedics. How you feeling?
What's your name, sir?
What? Hey,
Okay.
So we wake the gentleman up and he's not happy to see us.
Can we take you to St. Paul's?
What?
Initially, I believe that he thought we were police officers, and a lot of the time, they're not happy to see police.
No. You're going to go to the hospital, you're going to jail.
People are combative because you're ruining their good time, you're taking them away from their situation, and they just want to be left alone.
What if we give you a good place to sleep tonight? There'll be a bed and a blanket and maybe a sandwich.
Once they're getting rowdy.
Are you gonna crawl up onto this bed?
Come on.
Don't start that.
You're just gonna be calm, eh?
1, 2, 3.
Well, that's better.
Here we go, bud. Let's go step in the world, too, over.
Some people that aren't really heard in society, they feel like they're kind of pushed aside. I speak for them when they're not able to speak for themselves.
What? Just be calm. Just be calm.
What?
I'm one of the paramedics. I'm not a police officer, okay?
Sometimes they can't do that physically, or they don't have the capacity to do that.
So if you stay calm, we'll stay calm. You can sleep, and in the morning they'll let you go home. Okay?
I can be that voice for them. I like being that advocate. For me, that's the most rewarding part of the job.
This is a Delta response to a white car in a parking lot. Report of an unconscious male, status unknown.
We were called for a male unconscious in his vehicle in a mall parking lot. Police were on scene and they were unable to wake him up. Now comes the question, is it alcohol, is it drugs, or is it another medical condition? Did he have a heart attack? If it was a medical emergency, such as a heart attack or low blood sugar, he's not going to suddenly wake up and open the door.
In the bottom corner.
Gotta make sure that he's okay.
Sir!
Well, no, because that's not gonna stop.
He's moving.
Roll the window down, open the door. Hey!
Hey.
Put it in park! Put it in park!
You want us to pop it? We got it.
Put it in park! Roll the window down and open the door! Hey, just a minute, where's your score? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Smashed your window because you weren't listening.
Because you were putting it in drive, sir. We can't have you doing that. No, it wasn't that at all.
Do you have any medical issues that we need to know about?
They're probably going to take him, but we're going to medically check him out and make sure that it's not a medical thing.
So we just gotta take your blood pressure, your vital signs, see if you're okay, okay? Do you have any medical problems? We'll get you to stand up, okay?
As paramedics, we need to be careful that our patients are safe to leave. We had to make sure it wasn't an underlying medical condition, as well as we had to make sure that he wasn't too intoxicated to go with the police. Let's saddle up.
I don't know if anybody really knows why they become a paramedic. Sometimes it can be a very hard job to have because you only see people at their worst. But, you know, you just want to help people. That's just what we do.
Did you see that?
Where the f did they come from?
Those guys are flying.
When city police are driving that fast, something bad is happening.
Base to 34, we're responding for a 35-year-old male. He's been stabbed. No other details at this time. Code 8 is en route.
Instantly. We both feel it. We both know that it's something serious.
He's not completely alert. Multiple stab wounds.
Multiple stab wounds.
Outside Saskatoon, idle loud, drive south.
Okay, so if he's legitimate multiple stabbings, we'll just get him in the truck. Yeah, and then we'll just go.
Police to 34. Call has just been upgraded to Delta.
We're just about there.
So city police, they want to know how long it's going to be before we get there. That happens very rarely, and when it does happen, Holly and I both know that that's a serious call. Come on, lady. Keep your head on the swivel. There he is, right up against the wall. Two or one? Okay. High in the thigh. At this point, I see him laying on the ground, covered in blood, not breathing well. I think he's gonna die if we don't get to the hospital. Again. Okay, that's good. Tourniquet again. So the same cop that we seen earlier in the night has now got a tourniquet on the second stabbing, buying this guy a chance to get to the OR. Femur. Femoral artery, maybe.
It's covered up, it's right here.
The patient was stabbed in his femoral artery. He is bleeding to death.
Yeah. We needed to get him in the back of the ambulance, and we needed to go.
1, 2, 3. Did you guys take the time off? Yes.
Yeah. Cover him up.
Left femur. We'll be going to the U.
Where?
Right here, it's covered.
Oh, okay.
We're just gonna get a quick pressure here.
How old is he, do you think?
I'd say 34, 35 maybe.
A trauma alert for approximately a 35-year-old male. He's been stabbed in the left femoral, very pale. We're just getting vitals for you so you can determine what type of trauma alert to put out. I'll get back to you right away.
We're good?
Yeah.
Shelby, you're gonna ride? We're good? Just yell those vitals for me when...
I can't get an accurate pressure, Holly. Heart rate is 33. He's gonna code here right away.
Calls like this, we don't know if they're necessarily gonna make it or not. We have a gut feeling. We know that they're slipping out, they're going downhill, but that doesn't mean we're gonna stop trying. We're gonna do everything that we can possibly do to keep this patient alive, because as long as they're in our care, we're gonna do the best we can.
When you go out for drinks with your friends, or you go home and your parents ask how your day at work was or something like that, it's really tough to put that into words, you know? I can't explain that.
Earlier in the night, we responded to the gentleman that was hit by a motor vehicle at a high rate of speed.
Do you remember getting hit by a car? No. No? Did you black out?
He was admitted for the night. He spent the night in emerge, but left the following morning against medical orders.
So the first stab wound patient of the night. Was it spurting blood or what?
Yeah, at first it was.
It was discovered in hospital that he did have an arterial bleed, went to the OR for repair of the injury, and admitted to hospital to recover.
Our second stabbing victim, we got him to the hospital as fast as we could.
I can't get an accurate pressure, Holly.
3 is Bravo to the...
We get to the hospital. He goes into cardiac arrest twice in the emergency room.
By this point in time, he was basically gone.
Absolutely, it's tragic. And I feel bad for his family and his friends.
Just because of one night, one mistake, he's gone.
I wish there was more that we could have done so that he could have walked out of the hospital.